Hello, my name's Graham Morgan, and welcome to the Jeans Bothy podcast on Comfort and Disturb. We're a mental health and wellbeing hub in Argyll. And today I'm talking to Carole. Carole, it's lovely to see you again. You were on last time. This time we're talking about nature and litter picking. But before we go there, can you tell me a little bit about yourself and how you and Hunter found the Bothy?
Yes, my husband Hunter and I, we moved to Helensburgh about 5 years ago, and as soon as we got here, we saw a lot of information on Facebook about the Bothy, but we weren't able to go then because we had a wee Jack Russell at the time, a wee elderly Jack Russell Sparky, and we wanted to spend all our time with him, the time that we had left with him, and then when we did finally lose Sparky, and we were at a bit of a loose end, and we felt that this huge gap in our lives to fill, that Sparky had filled for us, and then we thought we'll give the Bothy a chance, and that's been great. We've it's really become a huge part of our lives, and it's brought us a lot of joy, and made a lot of friends, and it's been a great thing to be part of,
That's lovely.
and look forward to.
So, who are you? What sort of person are you?
Well, who am I? That's a very big question.
It's a horrible question, isn't it?
And I think I'm quite a sort of a chirpy wee person, and I kind of try and see the positive side of things, and I'm also quite shy, and I don't make friends terribly easily, and I find it quite difficult going into new situations and things, and that's why the Bothy's great. It kind of challenges me, and Hunter and I, we've been together for 30 years now, and nature has always been a huge part of our lives together. We've always, even when we were working full time, we always found lots of time. We've always made time to get out in nature and go for walks, and appreciate round about
Yeah.
us, and go further afield as well. And so it's always been a big thing for us.
That's lovely. You got us right into the conversation. We're talking about nature, and you plan your whole day around nature. Can you tell me about that?
Yes, we do. I mean, we get up at kind of ridiculous o'clock, and we try and go for a walk. If the weather's not too bad, and even if it's dark, we go for a wee walk. You can walk along the seafront and hear the birds. Even in the dark, you can hear them all and make out all the individual calls, and then sometimes we might go to the woods a wee bit with our phone torches and things as well. Just nowhere too tricky that we might trip over, but we do enjoy.
So you mean before the dawn?
Yeah, yes. And then once the summer comes, it's great. I get up even earlier actually, it's just something that we just love to do, and then when we get back, as was mentioned in our initial chat, we really enjoy doing qigong, which is sort of like Tai Chi, but a lot easier, and more sort of simple moves and things, and we do a wee routine as well when we get back, or if it's really nice when we're outside, we might find a wee spot and do some moves there.
I know you do, and I was going to ask that. You do your qigong. I've done a little bit of qigong. You do it in public. How do you manage that? You not.
Well, we try and hopefully not have an audience, but we try, if we can find a nice wee spot, like a nice place where we've gone is down at the Sailing Club down at Helensburgh, and there's a nice wee bit there we can sit and do things, and also there's nice wee pockets in the woods that we go to, and it just feels so much more natural, just being out in nature and having nature around you, and hearing the birds, and it just makes you feel part of something. It's really good, and we just I mean, we're not experts on wildlife and nature, and we don't know the names of every bird, and we can't recognise all the bird song, but we appreciate it, and
That was what I was going to ask, because nature is so important to you, but you also think it's really important that we recognise the part we play as being a part of nature. Can you help me understand that?
Well, I think a lot of, and it was mentioned in the previous podcast, that we'd lost a lot of that sense of connection as to ourselves as a community, and I feel we've also lost our connection to nature, and just see, and we've forgotten how important that is in our lives to nature's not a separate thing. We are part of it, and it's just never ceases to amaze us just how how wonderful it is, and that sense of resilience that nature has. And when you go for a walk the day after, the calm after the storm, or the thaw after the big freeze that we've just had, and you just see how everything's survived, everything's made it through, and it makes it think, well, we can do the same. It just gives you that sense that you can make it.
Yeah, it's quite easy to think we're separate, isn't it? That we're humans and we're different to everything, but actually we're just a piece of it, aren't we?
We are a big part. I mean, it's probably an imbalance how much effect that we have on nature, and I think it's important and it's also very important for people to appreciate what's on your own doorstep as well. And I mean, we're very lucky in Helensburgh. We've got a couple of lovely woodlands. We've got Duchess Woods, and we've got Castle Woods, and then places further afield, and we've got the waterfront, and other nice walks that we can do. And it's really important to protect and look after and appreciate what we've got on our own doorsteps, as well as further afield, I think.
Thank you so much. And also the effect on our mental health and well-being from nature. Can you help me understand again?
Yeah, it's just as you know yourself, just being out. It really takes you out of yourself, and it makes you appreciate that there is a bigger picture, and that you're just part of it. And just when you just marvel at how wildlife survives. I mean, we wouldn't last one night outdoors. I think these animals and birds and insects and things, and the trees, they survive, and you think it just gives you this lovely feeling of connection, and as I say, it takes you away from you think you've got problems, but you don't have to struggle to find food. You don't have to worry about predators, and you really or your home being under threat or things like that. It's all it's all kind of relative, really, and also that space that it's a kind of not a vacuum, but just a place where you can be out with your daily life, that you can think about things, and any problems you can kind of work through, and you've usually, by the time you get home, you've got a solution.
Yeah, I find that walking with Dash the dog, I find a huge sense of peace sometimes.
Absolutely.
But also I can love being out in a storm one too, that can be good.
Yeah.
And sometimes I just use it to go through conversations in my head. I can have huge arguments in my head and then I'm relaxed by the end.
Oh yes, well, absolutely. And then if you're doing any of your writing or something, you get inspiration comes to you, and it's just a super place to be, and it's just nice that I think people are starting to really appreciate how having green spaces is so important to people in their with their mental health and their physical well-being as well, and just to have somewhere to get out in the fresh air, and to breathe fresh air as well. And even if you can't get out, if you can open a window and get some fresh air that way, and always, like, last thing at night, I always my mum used to always do this as well. She'd stick her head out the door and just breathe in a few gulps of fresh air, and you think, and that's all good for you, just being trying to keep that connection, and also what you can get in your own garden, the wildlife that will come to you if you're lucky enough to have a wee bit of green space round about you. The wildlife you get coming to your own garden is
and
lovely.
you have names for the animals that you
We
meet.
do, actually, yes. We got that from this wildlife writer that he's now passed away, called Mike Tomkeys, and he gave up a job as a showbiz writer in Hollywood to live out in the wilds in Scotland and film nature, and he wrote a few books and things, and he always, every wildlife, every creature he came across, he gave a name, and we started doing that too. We adopted it, and we've got Chunky the magpie in the garden. It's and he's kind of a bit rough and ready looking, and always think he's like the magpie equivalent of Rabsy Nesbitt, and I drew a wee cartoon of him as like Rabsy Nesbitt with the bandage over his head and the string vest and everything, and then we've got a grey squirrel that comes to the garden. That's Twinkle. I'm not sure if it's a girl or a boy, or if there's quite a few twinkles coming, I'm not sure. And we just like to give things, it just makes you follow their their lives, and I really appreciate having them come to the garden. And we've also got a wee, I say a bird bath, it's just a plastic tray, and we put, always make sure there's lots of clean water for them, and especially when it's been cold as well, and make sure that they've got the water hasn't frozen. And then the other day I saw 5 starlings having a bath in it together, and it's just nice having that connection in your garden, and things you can actually see from your own window. It's really nice. And another thing we do is, I have my friend Gillian gave me this beautiful journal, and she was saying, well, you could put your writing in it, and I thought, oh no, I'm not going to spoil it, put my writing in it. And we use that as our wildlife diary, and every day we write something in it that we've seen, and we're supposed to come up with something different. We can't use the same thing. And we just, it can be something simple, like, saw a feral pigeon with lovely plumage, or it doesn't have to be, or saw some kind of just anything. It doesn't have to be anything, like a seagull flying up above or something. It can be anything at all that's just made you smile, or that you've appreciated. And again, that really makes you focus during the day, thinking, I need to get something for the diary today.
On a slightly different sense, you're worried about the future of nature and want to both preserve, protect it, and celebrate it. Do you want to tell me about that?
Well, yes, all our green spaces are under threat, and they're so important, not just for us and our well-being, but also we need to preserve what we've got, and enhance what we've got as well. And there's an awful lot of, it's very easy to get a bit overwhelmed by things you see about climate change, and all the green spaces being under threat, and the numbers of birds and things declining, but there's a lot of good work out there as well, and it's really lovely. There's one of the local nurseries, they have the little forest schools of all the preschool kids, and you think, well, they'll be lovely when they grow up. They'll be real ambassadors for wildlife, and they'll do their bit, everything.
And you already are, aren't you? Is it called the Bothy Baggers?
The Bothy Baggers.
What's the Bothy Baggers?
Yes, well, it's a litter picking and recycling group that we've formed at the Bothy, and one of the other members, Nikki, I was wanting a catchy title for us, and Nikki came up with Bothy Against Garbage, which was the bag for baggers, so the Bothy Baggers. And most Monday mornings, weather permitting, we go out and just either go around the streets and or down to the beach and just pick up litter, and it's lovely that every time we're out, somebody always, a member of the public will always come up and say, that's lovely what you're doing, and we really appreciate that, and so it is nice. I think it's a very, very small minority of people who are causing the damage to, and leaving litter everywhere. It's not the majority of people aren't doing it, and even when I'm out doing litter picks myself, people come up to me and they it's also a lovely way to get chatting to people as well, and in terms of what people themselves can do, just to do what they can. And if there's any local groups, like we're lucky here, we've got the Friends of Duchess Woods, and then we've also got Helensburgh Community Woodlands, who look after Castle Woods, and then I know there's other groups locally that are being formed to look after their patches of woodland, and if you can get involved with something on the ground, that's great. And also we're in the RSPB and the Scottish Wildlife Trust and the Woodland Trust as well, and so you're kind of helping support their work, and they're doing an awful lot of good work by buying up tracts of land and trying to restore the natural balance more. So it's all there's all these wee things that you can do.
This strikes me because I often look at the news about our environment and climate change, and I think there's no point in doing anything.
Yes.
And yet you're an advocate of saying even small things make a difference. Is that right?
That's right, because I can't remember a wise person. It might have been Gandhi that said, don't complain about the darkness, light a candle. And if everybody just lit a candle, that would be a huge amount of light that could show us the way, sort of thing. And I think if people just, it is very easy to get a bit disheartened, but just do what you can, and whatever that may be. I mean, even if physically you can't get out and do anything, you can support these organisations. You can, you can on Facebook, you can like their pages. You can, and they're always looking for people to help publicise their cause. So even if you can't get out and dig things or get the secateurs or whatever, you can get involved in all sorts of ways that you can really, you can make a difference. And there is a lot of good work going on in the world, and I love watching wildlife programmes, and there's always that wee bit at the end, and it gives you the downside, but then there'll always be people in the field doing their bit for conservation, and just doing what they can, and if I did have my time again, I would love to be doing something like that, really out there saving something, but I can do my wee bit now, and do my litter picking, and being in these groups, and just drawing people's attention to these sort of things.
That's lovely. That's lovely. That bit about lighting a candle and thinking that we can all make a difference in our small way.
Absolutely, yes.
Well, as a last thing, what would you say to someone who would like to appreciate nature, but for whatever reason finds it intimidating, doesn't know how to get out, is maybe frightened of being in the natural world on their own, say as a woman? Any messages for someone who wants to make a difference to their lives?
Well, I would say obviously safety is important, and even just try going out small. I mean, there's always lots of people wondering about our woods and everything, and or even come out litter picking or something. I'm always wondering about the woods, litter picking on my own, and I feel we're very lucky here. I do feel quite safe, and I think it is important, even if you just get out for a few minutes at a time, and small steps and everything. And then the first time I've wandered about the woods with my litter picker, I thought I feel a bit silly, but no, it's just great to get out there, however you can, and you don't need to go miles into the countryside. You can see wildlife everywhere. There's the gulls count as wildlife, pigeons count as wildlife, and just watching them is nice, and or if you can put something out in the garden, or bird feeder, or anything like that, and just to see wildlife, and then get out more and more, and also that there's lots of groups and things that you can maybe you could go out with other people, and we have walks in the Bothy that people can come along to if they like, and we do and also have a photography group, and we have great fun going out in that and trying to photograph the outside world. And we were very lucky. We were on a photo walk at the RSPB reserve at Gartercarn, and we spotted an osprey when we were out on our photo walk, and so that was quite nice, and just to just try to get out. And I know it can be a bit intimidating as a woman going out on your own, but and it is a shame that that is a major consideration for people, that you have to think about your safety. But I think if you're sensible, it should be okay. And there's always lots of nice dog walkers out, and other people like me wandering about the woods. So, so yeah,
Thank you so much. That's been really
lovely.
good, because in a world where the state of the environment is a really disturbing thing, the way you talk about it is so comforting, and that positivity to it. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you very much. I could have talked for another hour or two. But
I'm sure we will do it in the future. That's the end of this
Thank you.
podcast on nature and litter picking in Jean's Bothy, on the theme of Confident Disturb. Thank you so much for Carole. Tune in again for the next episode.
Thank you.